Hello and welcome to Lesson 3 of our reading courses. So let's get going with Lesson 3. So let's just summarize what we've done so far so that we know where we are. So in Lesson 1 we looked at the key factors that will get you a 7 or above on the reading test, and we also looked at how important vocabulary was, and we gave you that vocabulary improvement plan. I hope all of you have begun your vocabulary improvement plan. In Lesson 2, why they are important, and we showed you some practice activities, so hopefully you've got going with those practice activities. And today we're going to round it all off by showing you everything you need to know about strategy, what strategies are, why they are effective, how they are effective, and we're going to give you a step-by-step strategy for one of the questions so that you can see how powerful it is. And we're going to make this lesson as interactive as possible, just so that you can activate your brain cells a little bit instead of just sitting back and watching a video. So this is the most important thing throughout the whole course. Everybody is focusing on this and ignoring all of this. We talked a lot about vocabulary and skills already. We're going to talk a lot about strategy today, and at the end, we're going to bring it all together by bringing it back to the most important thing, which is mindset. Okay, so why strategy? Well, this quote will tell you what I think about strategy. What does strategy mean? Well, if we read this quote first, a fool with a plan is better off than a genius without a plan. So, being strategic when it comes to your preparation, without a plan is just a dream. And I think that is very applicable to IELTS, because lots of people have the idea of getting a band 7 or getting a band 8 or getting a band 9, but it's just a dream. Until you put together a strategic plan of action, it will remain a dream. But those that are a bit more strategic about things and plan things out, they're the ones that get the scores. So we're going to help you with that today. So another reason why you should be aware of strategies and why they are so important for reading is these are just some of the different types of questions that might come up on the reading test. So we've true, false, not given, matching headings, multiple choice questions, summary completion, matching sentences, diagrams, matching names, short answer, and on and on and on and on. Now, why do they do this? Why do IELTS have so many different types of reading question? Why isn't it like when you were back in primary school or high school and it was just multiple choice questions or just comprehension questions? Well, what these questions do is they simulate what it will be like when you move to London or Toronto or Chicago or Sydney or wherever you're moving to. When you are there, you're not going to be just using one skill. You're going to be tested in a multiple things in multiple. These questions simulate what it's like to be in an English-speaking environment. And the key thing to remember about these when we go back to strategy is they're all testing different skills, different sub-skills in different orders. They're all structured in different ways. Therefore, you need a different strategy for each different type of question. Each of these different types of question, you need a step-by-step strategy that is unique to them. So when students join my VIP course, one of the things that we do with them is we give them a step-by-step strategy for every different type. And we tell them you need to learn these, because you can't go in with just one strategy and hope that it helps you with all of the different types of questions, because it won't. So how do step-by-step strategies help? Well, number one, it's a proven framework. They're proven to work. So I didn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'll put together some strategies. No, these have been tested over years and years and years of teaching and students doing the test. So we spent like hundreds of hours putting these together and testing them and working with students. And these are the strategies that actually do work. Also, very importantly, they allow you to practice in a very standardized way. So this is important, because if you practice a standardized way, then you're taking one variable out of your practice. So by applying the same strategy to the same type of question over and over and over again, you know that the strategy is sound because we've proven it. So if you're getting the questions wrong, it's nothing to do with the strategy. It's either your reading skills or your vocabulary or timing or you just find that question difficult for some reason, but it allows you to practice in the same way over and over and over again. And then on test day, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be doing the exact same thing that you did on test day. So just one less thing to worry about on test day. So next point, you know exactly what to do on test day. And then the final point is it saves you a huge amount of time on test day as well. One of the worries of the typical IELTS student is, I'm going to run out of time, and most do run out of time on the reading test. Strategies save you a huge amount of time because I don't like to say robotic, because that's kind of a negative thing to say, but it kind of does turn you into like an IELTS reading robot. You know exactly what to do, and you're just like, step one, do this, step two, do this, step three, do this. And obviously you're going to be, freely thinking and thinking about the different things that are in the text and in the questions, but that strategy is going to be very structured, and it's the same over and over and over again. So, this is a strategy for matching headings. Please note that this strategy is for matching headings. It is not for true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given, or multiple choice questions, or any other type of questions. It's just for matching headings. There's a unique strategy for every different type of question. Sorry for repeating myself, but it's really important. So let's go through this one. And this is kind of a simplified version for the purposes of this lesson. The one that we have on our course is more complicated than this, and this is more of a simplified version, so just be aware of that. So talk about each step and why we do each step, why it's there. So number one, skim text first and create your own heading for each. So you're looking at the text first, okay? You are not, that shouldn't be like that. Let's get rid of that. We need to change our thing to this. Okay, so you're looking at the text first. The reason why you're looking at the text first is what they're testing is for you to be able to look at a text and quickly understand the general meaning of that, and to be able to match headings with the text, with each paragraph of the text. So if you look at the questions first, that is going to slow you down, and it's going to mean that you get a little bit confused, and it can also lead to some false conclusions and can lead to some false answers. So it's really, really important that you look at the text first. Now, other questions, you'll look at the questions first. For this one, you're going to look at the text first. And create your own heading for each. So why do we get students to do this? So this is just something that I discovered in class when I was working with students. I set this up as like a little game for students, and just discovered by accident that it was really, really, really effective, because what it does is it forces you to understand the general meaning quickly, and then by putting your heading beside each paragraph without looking at the questions first, a very, very special thing happens after that. When you read the headings, so the difference between headings and text, you're looking at the headings, some of them will become very, very obvious. Some of them, which we will show you in a second, will be so obvious that you can match them pretty much immediately. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Step 2, you're going to read the headings, understand and highlight any keywords that are going to help you with that. So you're looking at the text first, then you're looking at the headings, and you're just focusing on one thing at a time. You're focusing on the text, then you're focusing on the headings. It's really important that you understand them, because if you don't understand them, you won't be able to match them. Number 3, match obvious headings. Okay, so you might have a text with, let's say, a few paragraphs, and you have your little heading here, and then you look at the possible headings here, and this one matches this one directly. It's like nearly exactly the same. So that means that you can match them really, really quickly. Now, does that mean you'll be able to match 100% of them? No, but you will see if you use this method, you should be able to, it differs from question to question, but normally about half of them you'll be able to match really, really quickly. So let's say 3 out of the 6 you're able to match immediately. That leaves you with 3 out of the 6 to really, really focus on. So again, you're being strategic. You're really thinking about things and doing things in a very, very strategic way. As you can see, this took a long time to figure out, but it really does work. And then you're going to write the possible headings beside the remaining paragraphs. So there will be some remaining paragraphs that you haven't been able to match. You're going to then focus on them. Instead of focusing on all of them, you're just focusing on the ones that you do not know, that you're unsure about. So again, being really, really strategic, you can focus all of your attention, all of your focus onto those that you're unsure about. And then you come to a conclusion. Okay? So that's the first time you've seen this probably. So let's look at what it might look like on test day. So here I have a paragraph from the Mary Poppins review from the New York Times. What I want you to do is I want you to read this quickly. So I'm going to give you less than 1 minute. And what I want you to do is, on a piece of paper, or you can type it out, write your own heading. If you had to create a heading for this paragraph, what would you write? Okay, so pause the video, do it in less than 1 minute, and write your own heading. Go. And I'll get out of the way. So you can pause the video now. There you go. Okay, so now you should have your own heading for this one. Really, really important that you do that. If you didn't, go back and do it. Okay, now let's look at another. The first one with this one, okay? There's a review of the soundtrack. If you had read, looked at this really, really quickly, it talks about songs. It talks about a lot about songs and song titles. So if you read that quickly, words like melodic and lyrical and all of these things, you would have wrote something like soundtrack or songs or something like that, and then it would have been very easy to match it up with this one. Now, that leaves us with 3 options. Okay, how the movie performance of the actors and the screenplay is poorly written. So now what we can do, instead of wasting any more time with this one, we're not going to waste any more time because we've already got the answer. We can really read this carefully, okay? And a lot of these you could just discard. So does it talk anything about the screenplay? Read it carefully, think about that. Does it talk about the actors, the performances? Read it carefully. Or does it talk about how the movie compares to the original? So what I'd like you to do is read this more carefully and decide which one of those so is it 1, 2, or 4, which do you think? So again, pause the video and think about it and have a go at picking it. And hopefully, because you were able to pick up that it's nothing to do with these, nothing to do with these, but it was talking about comparing it to the original. So hopefully you can see, by using a strategy like this, you're just making everything so much easier for yourself. So matching headings are one of those types of questions that students hate. They're just like, oh, I absolutely hate this question. I can never get the answer. So imagine going from someone who just doesn't know anything and hates those questions to someone who can just apply this strategy and hopefully get the answers. Now, are you going to get 100% of the answers all the time? Probably not, unless you're like a band 9 student, or you're hoping to get a band 9, but you are just increasing your chances massively of increasing your score, and that's what we want to do. So finally today, let's go back to here. So hopefully you've been able to see that tips and tricks are not going to help you. By improving your vocabulary, improving your reading skills, and employing a strategy for all the different types of questions, you're able to ignore this completely because tips just do not work. But as I said at the beginning of the week, the most important thing is mindset. So what do I mean by that? Well, you could get 2 students. Imagine you have 2 identical twins, all right? They have the same language level, the same everything. Uniquely, they have access to exactly the same information. So every student in the world now has access to the same information online, all right? Or imagine they went to the exact same school and got given the exact same books and the exact same lessons. But one of them is getting a 7 or above, the other one is getting below a 7. So this is why he is not very happy, and he is. So exactly the same information, same teaching, same everything. Why is one getting over a 7 and one is getting below a 7? And we see this every single day. Every single day. There's one thing that is the crucial factor in this equation. So let's look at the difference between happy student who's getting the score they need and unhappy student. Well, unhappy student, all they want to do is just learn tips and tricks and shortcuts. Happy student, what they want to do is they actually want to learn and improve. They want to improve their vocabulary. They want to improve their reading skills. They want to improve their general level of English. They want to improve their scores. This attitude means all the difference in the world. The guy who failed, he wants it now. He might have, like 6 months ago, he started studying and he said, I want it today. I want it right now. I just want shortcuts and tips and tricks. Whereas this guy said, okay, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take hard work, but I'll get there. I'm not there now, but I'll get there in the future. And that is the difference between getting the score you need and not. This guy is totally clueless. He doesn't know what is going on. He's not aware of any of his problems. A lot of these guys actually think that they are entitled to getting a really high score. These are the guys that blame everybody else. They blame their teachers, they blame the British Council, they blame IDP, they blame everybody because they deserve a high score. Whereas this guy is aware that in order to get a high score, you need to do a few things. You need to put the work in. You need to learn a few things. So this guy is a lot more humble. This guy is a lot more arrogant. This guy is very strategic in his preparation and in what he does on test day. This guy, luck and hope are his two favorite words. How many times have you heard this? Next time I'll be lucky. Oh, I hope that I'm lucky next time. Luck is going to be a factor in my preparation. It's not. All right? I don't care about other areas of your life where you believe in luck and you believe in hope. Don't apply that to the IELTS test. Luck and hope are the two most dangerous words that you can believe in. Finally, this guy sees mistakes and learns from those mistakes. He actually likes mistakes. He loves mistakes because they are an opportunity to improve. This guy, the first mistake he makes, or the first time he gets a low score in a practice test or something like that, he just quits. All right? So the missing ingredient is attitude. This is all just attitude. And you can change any of this immediately. It doesn't actually require any effort or any work. It's just about changing your attitude, changing your mindset. And let's finish up this course by talking about one thing that we do on our VIP course. Now, if you only learn one thing from this whole experience, this whole mini course, pay attention to this. We've helped more students get the scores they need than any other course in the world. Why is that? Is because we're the best teachers in the world, or the most intelligent, or the most hardworking, or anything like that? No, it really just comes down to our methodology and how we think about the test and how we think about preparation. So there's a few things that need to happen in order for you to improve. You need to learn what to do, okay? So if you have bad materials, or if your lessons are bad, if you've bad input, then you're not going to learn what to do. But you need to learn what to do first. But that's just the first step. Then you need to do those things. Okay, so you need to practice, you need to put in the effort to do those things. But if you just do them without any feedback, you've just wasted your time. So you need feedback on your work. Okay, then from that feedback, you're going to learn. So just go around in this positive feedback loop, and you're going to improve if you do this. Let's look at a real example. Let's say you don't know how to write an introduction for a Task 2 essay. You need to learn how to do that first. Someone needs to teach you what to do. Then what are you going to do? You're going to write an introduction. But you're probably not going to do it perfectly, so you need to get feedback. These are the things you did well. These are the things you need to fix. You're going to learn from that, and you're going to do it again and get more feedback until you are able to do it at the level you need to do it at. This is simple methodology is where you need to get to. But most students are nowhere near this because they're listening to people who don't know what they do, or they are using materials that are just unreliable. Then there are some students who have a really great teacher, but they're actually not doing anything. If you just sit